Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. We're so glad that you're here. I'm Steve.
And I'm Scott.
And together we're Backyard Musings, the Science and Technology channel.
Yeah, and today we're talking about not an uncommon fuel source, but a better developed way of producing this fuel source. Is that what the story is about?
Yeah, Scott, I think this is going to be relevant for space travel. Trying to make this as efficient as possible is going to help us get to Mars and beyond, I think. All right. Birmingham researchers have developed a new method for producing hydrogen fuel that costs less than existing approaches. Hydrogen has long been hailed as a key fuel for a low-carbon future, capable of powering everything from heavy industry to transportation without producing carbon emissions at the point of use. Yet there's a major contradiction at the heart of today's hydrogen economy. Despite its clean reputation, around 95% of hydrogen is still produced using fossil fuels, often through energy-intensive processes that generate significant carbon dioxide emissions. Now, research at the University of Birmingham have developed a new low-temperature method for producing hydrogen that could make the fuel cheaper, cleaner, and easier to generate close to where it is needed. Would you like to know more?
Okay, their approach uses a perovskite catalyst to split water into hydrogen and oxygen at far lower temperatures than conventional thermochemical methods, potentially allowing industrial waste, heat from sectors such as steel, cement, glass, and chemicals to power local hydrogen production.
Waste heat. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Thermochemical water splitting has emerged as a promising alternative to conventional hydrogen production because it avoids direct reliance on fossil fuels. In these systems, catalysts repeatedly absorb and release oxygen while separating water into hydrogen and oxygen. However, using catalysts typically require temperatures of 700 to 1,000 degrees Celsius for water splitting, and as much as 1,300 to 1,500 Celsius for regeneration between cycles, limiting their practicality and efficiency.
That's pretty warm.
Yeah.
A team led by Professor Yulong Ding from the University School of Chemical Engineering has shown that this temperature requirement can be reduced by 500 degrees Celsius using a perovskite catalyst.
Yeah, that's still hot, though.
Pretty hot.
Their study, published on April 30th, 2026 in the International Journal of Hydrogen Energy, found that the catalyst can generate substantial hydrogen yields at temperatures of 150 to 500 Celsius and be regenerated at 700 to 1,000 Celsius.
Professor Ding said the lower overall temperature of the process could enable hydrogen to be produced nearby renewable energy generation plants, and foundation industry sectors such as steel, cement, glass, and chemicals have an abundance of waste heat. I'm not exactly sure what waste heat is.
That's heat that comes off from whatever you're doing and just goes into the atmosphere.
Just up the stack, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Which could be harnessed as the heat input for low temperature hydrogen production. If the hydrogen is used locally, this would overcome the obstacles presented by storage and transport, so enabling the uptake of hydrogen fuel without the need for costly infrastructure.
Okay. So I think that's a great idea because there's a lot of places that heat just escapes, and high heat. And if you can harness that and use that, it's like a synergy, between the two.
Yeah.
An initial cost competitiveness analysis suggests that water splitting with the perovskite catalyst could produce hydrogen more cheaply than either green hydrogen produced by water by electrolysis or blue hydrogen produced from methane with carbon capture and storage. The cost advantage was strongest in places with low renewable energy prices, including Australia.
The research was carried out in collaboration with the University of Science and Technology, Beijing, and is being commercialized in the UK and Europe by the University of Birmingham. University of Birmingham Enterprise has filed a patent application covering the use of BNCF catalysts for splitting water at low temperatures and is now seeking development partners to help advance the technology. But they want to keep
your potential partner.
Yeah.
Get in touch with them.
Yeah. But when we're talking about patenting, right? That's keeping it for themselves, or you pay if you want to use their process, right? I think that's how that
Squirrel's
works.
got to get a nut, right?
Yeah.
Hydrogen is the universe's most abundant element, but on Earth it is rarely found as pure hydrogen gas. Instead, it is usually locked inside other molecules, especially water and hydrocarbons such as natural gas, which contains mostly methane as well as coal and oil. Producing hydrogen requires splitting those molecules into their separate components.
The dominant method today is steam reforming, which splits methane to make hydrogen. This process accounts for nearly half of the H2 produced worldwide, but it generates CO2 as a byproduct, weakening its value as a carbon-free energy source unless it is combined with carbon capture and storage. Electrolysis offers a greener way to produce H2, but it must compete with cheaper hydrogen from methane splitting, and currently provides only about 4% of the H2 supply. Photonic methods use light to drive the conversion of water into hydrogen, but they are still at an early stage and face major challenges in efficiency, scalability, and cost effectiveness.
Hey, so
All important in the world of making stuff, right?
yeah, I was just thinking, thought came to mind that Ivanpah solar collectors, the towers, that generates a lot of heat. They could probably use that could be a way
Yeah,
to,
speaking of that, I just drove by that last weekend, twice, going and coming. And there's no way, unless they remove the ground collectors, or I guess it's actually a mirror, so it's like a reflector. I don't know how they're going to shut that plant down. It looks like it's operating, in other words. There's still, reflection of the sun going to the towers. But we had done a story where we did a story about a year ago or so, maybe longer, where they were going to shut that plant down. And that plant was subsidized by the government. I believe Barack Obama was the president then.
yeah,
And it was many millions of dollars. And then they were going to shut it down because they didn't think it was efficient. Plus, it was harming some wildlife. Birds were being zapped in there and stuff. But I don't know. I don't know if it's shut down or not completely. I haven't really heard if it has, but anyway.
well, if it's still, those collectors are still getting the sunlight, then obviously they're still working.
Well, yeah, but is the plant functioning though?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just reflecting light to that
Well,
tower.
the mirrors have to adjust with the way the sun is setting and rising. So if that's working, then I don't understand why the steam part wouldn't be working.
Well, I don't know, but then again, it's kind of like the broken clock being right twice a day, right? It's if the sun hits the mirrors just right for a certain period of time, you're going to get reflection. Eventually,
Yeah.
you're not going to get it. So, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd be interested to find out. I mean, I drive by that thing quite often, probably 7-8 times a year when we go to Utah, and it's always, since that story, it's always kind of, I've always questioned on whether it did actually shut down. So, but I'm going to look into that, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right, perovskites are lattice-like materials that can absorb oxygen molecules into their structure and split oxygen-containing molecules into their component parts. Perovskites exist in many forms, but the researchers focus on materials made from barium, niobium, calcium, and iron. BNCF perovskites. Oh yeah, BNC and F ferron for iron. These materials are readily available, do not require complex synthesis, and do not contain toxic ingredients.
Their work showed that the BNCF perovskites can accept oxygen into their structures at much lower temperatures than previously thought. A perovskite called BNCF100 was identified as the best formulation. The study also confirmed that the catalyst can be regenerated at lower temperatures than current water splitting catalysts and can keep producing hydrogen over 10 production cycles. X-ray diffraction showed little evidence of structural change in the catalyst during the process.
Professor Ding said, quote, our research revealed a catalyst capable of produce substantial yields of hydrogen at relatively low temperatures, and a preliminary techno-economic study shows it is cost effective compared to the established blue and green pathways for hydrogen production. I like it. I think space travel. That's what I'm thinking.
Well, could they not use it here?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's I don't know if you consider this a green fuel, right? But it's probably greener than what we got now. And I'm not concerned about the green part of it, but I know there's a lot of folks out there that get their feathers all stretched out when we're talking about fossil fuels and stuff, even though this is kind of a fossil fuel process. So,
you know, what I just thought of was nuclear reactors have heat that they have to dissipate. This is perfect to channel it into these.
yeah.
Perfect.
I mean, isn't that when you see a picture of a nuclear plant, I believe
big tower, that's
the
water.
the large cone is like a cooling tower.
Yeah.
So, and when those go haywire, that's when you may have a problem. So, then it gets too hot. So,
yeah.
Anyway, yeah, good story.
All right, folks. Thanks for joining us. We'll catch you in the afternoon.
Take care, everyone. We'll see you this afternoon.